Hello everyone, this is Achaia, and we are bringing you another 2v2 match here. This is a diamond level 2v2 matchup here that I played with 13, and alongside casting this game with me is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, 13 himself. What's going on, man?
Doing great, man. We actually just played this game just a few minutes ago, and it was such a good game, so back and forth. We said, you know what, we got to cast that before I leave.
Plus, there was one other item that you've been just absolutely dying to get into a shoutcast, and that is...
Nerf the Brood Lord. Those things are OP, man.
Definitely 13 has expressed his frustration to me on a number of accounts on how to deal with Broodlords as a Protoss player, and indeed I will admit they are very difficult to deal with if you have the right unit combination, and Broodlords are very, very powerful. That is of course why they are tier 3 tech, but anyways, you will get to see a little bit later in this game just how powerful they are exactly. But giving you the layout of this map, we're playing on Arid Wastes, and at the bottom of this map you can see that on the right-hand side in the purple base here as the Zerg, this is going to be me, Achaia. On my left here, I have my partner 13 playing as the light blue Protoss. And then up at the top, the people we are playing against here from the 2v2 Diamond League are Satrape as the red Terran. And we've also got TwistedGlass as the blue Protoss. And I believe we actually looked these guys' rank up because we were actually surprised at how back and forth this game was. And what rank did you say they were?
They were ranked 8th of their 2v2 division, which is pretty good. Normally the top 15 players kind of just trade places back and forth, so they're good players.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, this game was a lot of fun. There was definitely a point where I was up against the ropes and felt like I was going to get taken out of this game any second, but fortunately we were able to rally a little bit and keep that game going. But we'll see exactly how that plays out here in a little bit. But looking at the opening builds for everybody, 13, you are opening up with your standard pylon gateway at the entrance. And it looks like the Terran player, Satrape, has put his barracks and supply depot down at his entrance. And you'll notice this barracks is in a little bit of a different positioning. 13, do you want to explain exactly why that happened?
Yeah, I got my probe in there just in time. He was trying to build it right at that choke, you know, you'll see on his ramp there. And I just would not move my probe. I kind of microed it a little bit, and he had to build it in a less obvious place, I guess.
Indeed, you were blocking the ideal building placement, which forced him to build it up here, which of course not only blocks the add-on capability, but it also leaves his ramp very open, so he is going to have to lift off and move over to that area. And 13, actually, you have one early zealot moving out across the map going towards the red player because you notice that he has just now finished his barracks and he's putting a reactor on it as well. Yeah,
I noticed that he got that barracks off, you know, maybe 10-12 seconds later than he wanted to, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to throw one zealot in there, not too much of a risk, and just see if I can do some damage.
Indeed, and it looks like you're going to make it up there well before that reactor finishes. It's only about halfway done right now. He is trying to put up a second barracks and already has a bunker despite the fact that there are no Marines, perhaps just anticipating that he is indeed going to be pressured by you because you were able to slow that barracks down so much. But it looks like this one zealot is actually doing a lot of damage, almost taking this reactor down just as it's finishing up. But there are two SCVs right there, and it looks like they are going to be able to repair it. Although since it is in the red right now, I don't know, it's sticking right around 70 HP, so they may be able to keep that alive here with one zealot pounding away on it. But they do not have any zealots building for some reason, so right now they are investing a lot of resources on just keeping this reactor alive before they're even able to defend against this.
Yeah, at the very least, I'm slowing their economy down a little bit. I'm making them use, you know, some of their minerals, some of their gas, just to repair that reactor.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like they are out of the red now, so it looks like they are going to be able to keep this reactor alive and well. And a couple Marines coming out from each barracks now, and it looks like they will be able to hold this attack off. However, as you mentioned, you did force them to use some of their minerals and gas early on in the game, although maybe not a significant amount. Every little bit helps in a competitive game. But anyways, looking at his ally, TwistedGlass, it looks like he has gone for a more defensive approach. He's got 3 photon cannons spread across the front of his base here, guarding his nexus, and looks like he's getting ready to put down his 3rd gateway right now. And a decent amount of zealots. He's got 5 zealots right now, which is a decent amount for an early game. But it looks like you have actually gone a somewhat different route. You have 1 zealot out and a couple of stalkers, and actually meanwhile I have actually decided to throw down an early expansion here. So everybody doing something very, very different. We don't see a whole lot of mirror builds right now in this game. 13, what exactly is your strategy going forward in the build order for this game?
Well, you can see that I've got my Twilight Council warping in right now. I'm going to try to get some fast blink with those stalkers, and hopefully I'll be able to micro those up and, you know, maybe do some damage. Also, at the same time, you see that I have 1 zealot just pounding down the back door here of the red Terran, and I think that's my strategy. I'm going to try to take that down and do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that destructible rocks down when the Terran player has their front wall in going, if they do not scout that back destructible debris, then it can actually be a very, very nice surprise tactic to get an attack up there. I would also just like to note one thing too, is that I've actually got a Zergling at each of these Xel'Naga watchtowers, and you can just see on the minimap there how huge of an area of vision that gives you, and that actually gives us plenty of time to see that this SCV is coming right now, and you actually manage to move your stalkers out of your base and take that SCV out before it's even able to get up the ramp, and just see how many units you have at your entrance or how many gateways or pylons are there. So it really got zero scouting information, and once again that was because you were able to spot that SCV coming a long way out because of these Xel'Naga watchtowers. So just emphasizing once again, I don't see enough people use these, it seems like still. They are very, very useful, and Xel'Naga watchtowers can be absolutely crucial for preempting an attack that's coming towards your base. But anyways, going back to the Terran player, he is getting his factory up and running right now. So alongside with 3 barracks here, 2 of them have reactors and 1 of them has a tech lab. It looks like we are going to see a bit of a mech bio mix, so we'll see how that goes. But meanwhile, his Protoss ally has gone for Immortals at the robotics facility, in addition to the 3 warp gates that he has set up at his base. Also, I would just like to note that back in my base, I do have my expansion up and running now, starting to transfer drones over there at this time, and there is indeed a Nidus network. When I noticed that 13 was going for the destructible debris in the back of the Red Terran player's base, I decided I was going to get a Nidus network so that once he got up that ramp, I could just drop a Nidus worm and send him some reinforcements immediately to help take on that Red Terran player.
And when we look at the income tab, which is up right now, we can see that that fast expo is paying off pretty quickly for you. You're about 300 above everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a Zerg player, that's what I like to do, is get a lot of early bases, that early expansion when nobody else is expanding, especially right now. As you notice, both of the other teams have decided to play very passively up until now. So getting that early expansion up and running really is not that difficult when the opposite teams are playing so passive, because you have plenty of time to set up a hatchery and get a lot of units in, and some blink going in there surrounding this Terran infantry and managing to take down every last one of those units. And here comes the Nidus Canal. Or I'm sorry, Nidus Worm is I guess what it's called in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, it's a great move. I don't really see a lot of Zerg players using it. You know, I haven't really even seen many pro players use it. It's just so effective, and it's pretty easy to pull off, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Nidus Worms are a lot of fun to use, and unfortunately, I don't believe I actually used them much after this first Nidus Worm, but getting some Hydralisks and Zerglings in the mix here, trying to help out. But unfortunately for us, his blue ally, the Protoss player here, has brought some units up to help with them right now, and there is 1 barracks, one bunker rather, with 4 Marines in it, so that is definitely helping out with the cause for the Red Terran player right now. And unfortunately, these 4 Hydralisks are the only remaining units. I let my units get a little bit out of place here, which caused me to lose a lot more than I should have. And apparently you are trying